What's up, everybody? My name's Aiden. Welcome back. Today we're going over my Week 2 predictions, but before that, a couple of extra news. We just hit 100 subscribers on the channel, so thank you so much for that. It means a whole lot. Let's shoot for 200 now. And secondly, we went 11-6 last week, which is pretty good, but we got to do just better. Let's try to push for 17-0 this week. 17-0 would be great. Before we get into my picks, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, do all those YouTube things, and I really do appreciate it. Let's get right into this. Starting off here with going to be a great game. We got the Vikings and the Eagles going head-to-head in Philadelphia. The over-under for this game is 49. Let me know, real quick, let me know what you guys think about me including the over-under. I might include like some plus-minuses. I think I'm starting to get into this betting game. I think it should be a lot of fun. But anyways, I've got the Eagles winning 27-21. Some headlines going into this game. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, can they bounce back from a tough loss against the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield last week? The Eagles, are they legit though? We don't really know. The Patriots played them really, really good. And then last thing, and is Kirk Cousins gonna have time to throw against this stacked Eagles defensive front? All right, next up, we got another good game. AFC North matchup. We got the Ravens at the Bengals. The over-under for this game is 45.5. If I were to bet, I would take the under on this game. The Bengals, they had a terrible offensive performance against the Browns last week. They only put up 3 points. The Ravens, however, they do have a lot of key players hurt this week. The list goes J.K. Dobbins, Marcus Williams, Ronnie Stanley, Tyler Linderbaum, who are all projected to be out as of Wednesday, the 13th of September. Then, for questionable, we've got Mark Andrews and Marlon Humphrey. So the Ravens are getting pretty barraged by injuries right now. I think the Bengals are going to pull this one out. Next up here, we've got the Packers at the Falcons. The over/under for this game is 41.5. If I were to bet on this game, I'd take the over. The Falcons looked pretty good against the Panthers last week, and the Packers looked really, really good against the Bears. The Bears, a lot of people thought they were going to be good this year, and the Packers just straight up stunned them. They put up 38 points on offense. And it showed why they moved on from Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is legit. So far from what we've seen in just week 1. They call that an overreaction, if you will. But we expect to see a higher dosage for the Falcons on Bijan Robinson. I'm curious to see how much they use him. They started him out on the running back 3 on the depth chart. And he's behind Cordell Patterson and Tyler Algier. It looks like they want to use both of those guys still. But Bijan, he's too good to not play. And then possibly we could get the season debut for Christian Watson on the injury front. He said that if there were to be a game to come back, it would be this week. So some good news there for Packers fans. Next up, we got the Raiders at the Bills. The over-under for this game is 47.5. If I were to bet, I'd take the under on this one. I've got the Bills pulling this one out 24-13. The Bills, they're coming off, though, a disappointing loss on Monday Night Football to an Aaron Rodgers-less Jets, and Zach Wilson led them to a victory off a punt return touchdown in overtime, the third punt return touchdown in overtime we've ever seen in NFL history. And Josh Allen had 4 total turnovers that game, 3 picks to the same guy, and he lost a fumble. And can the Raiders, for the Raiders side of things, can they establish a run game? I mean, you've got Josh Jacobs in the backfield, and they were only to get 61 total yards on the ground. They've got to do better against a Bills front that's willing to allow the run. Next up here, we have my Seattle Seahawks going up against the Detroit Lions. And after week 1, I have no faith in this team whatsoever. I think the Lions are going to blow this team out of the water. I've got the Lions winning 38-27. The over-under for this game is 58.5. And last year, both these teams put up, I think, like 70 points. So I definitely take the over on that one. The Seahawks, super disappointing week 1 loss to the Rams. The Rams came out of nowhere and just slapped them in the mouth. Then the Lions are looking to show that they're NFC contenders this year. If they could beat Seattle, they go on an early run. A lot of the talk that has been saying that they're fake could start picking up to say that they're real contenders for the NFC this year. Next up, we got the Colts at the Texans. And last year, this game ended in a tie. So this over-under spread is 40. I'm going to take the slight under on it. I've got the Colts pulling out 20-17 because I really liked how the Colts used Anthony Richardson week 1 versus the Jaguars. They had the lead for most of the game, and in Colts fashion, they just blew it. This could be an AFC South matchup of the future with C.J. Stroud going up against Anthony Richardson. And the Texans, they really need to help out their offense with C.J. Stroud because they need to get something going with him. Otherwise, he's going to have a brutal year. Next up, we got the Bears at the Buccaneers. The Chicago Bears traveling all from Chicago all the way down to Tampa Bay. This spread is at 41.5. I'm going to take the under here. I think it could be an over, but I'm going to take the under here because I don't believe in this Bears offense. They're going to have to show me before I believe it. And Justin Fields, yes, he had a passing touchdown, but right now he still only looks like a runner. He didn't prove anything to me. I've got the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield looked great. The storyline came out from that game. Who knows how true this is, but he was able to call out the defensive coverage and off of all their defensive signs by halftime against the Vikings, which is something really, really special. And I don't think that this Bears defense has improved much at all. All they did was add Tremaine Edmonds. That was it. Next up, we got the Chargers visiting the Titans in Nashville, Music City. I've got the Chargers winning this one, 27-17. The spread over-under is 45. My bet would be to take the under. It's a good line from Vegas, but I still don't believe in this Titans offense. They didn't score a single touchdown against the Saints last week. And Tannehill, not looking good. Not looking good at all. 3 interceptions in the first 3 quarters. Not looking good at all. It's really just going to come up to the Chargers defense being able to maintain Derrick Henry. Next up, we got the New York Giants visiting the Arizona Cardinals. I've got the Giants winning this one 20-14. This isn't going to be my lock of the week, however. The Cardinals surprised me last week at how they played against the Commanders. They were in that game to the very end. And the Giants side of things, really, really bad. Really, really bad. 40-0 on prime time. It's one of the most watched Monday Night Football games of the decade. And they lost 40-0. Didn't put up a single point. Daniel Jones looked terrible. The entire offense looked terrible. The Cowboys looked really good. Shut up some haters. But we're going to talk about the Cowboys later. The over-under for this game is 40. I'm going to take the under. I've got the Giants winning 20-14. Next up, we've got our lock of the week. We've got the 49ers at the Rams. I'm taking the 49ers here. You'd be a fool not to bet on the 49ers this year. They looked phenomenal week 1 versus the Steelers. That offense was hitting on all cylinders. Their defense was swarming to the ball. This team looks unbeatable. Brock Purdy looks great coming back from injury. That was my main concern for him. He shut me up. He looks phenomenal. And can the Rams, can they surprise the 49ers here? I don't think so. They surprised the Seahawks, and I picked them to get blown out by the Seahawks. But can they surprise the 49ers? So far, we're 1-0 on Lock of the Week picks. Next up, we've got the Jets at the Cowboys. And can I just say, I feel for all Jets fans out there losing your quarterback, your guy that's going to bring you to the Super Bowl, and Aaron Rodgers, 4 plays into the game against the Bills on Monday Night Football. I was watching that game live, and you could just feel that stadium just lose all of its energy the second that he got hurt. Zach Wilson, he did his job, turned the ball over once. Zach Wilson throw, we all know it. However, I think that if he can play some mediocre quarterback, this team can make the playoffs. This has a Super Bowl caliber defense led by Sauce Gardner. I think this team is going to be really, really good on defense. It's just a matter of can the offensive pick up the slack. And on the Cowboys side of things, they shut down the Giants completely. Surprised me. The Giants, I thought, could have had an upset against the Cowboys. I didn't pick them to, but I could have seen it happening. They looked terrible. The Cowboys either got really, really lucky and played a bad Giants team, or the Cowboys are a team to look out for. Next up, we got the Commanders visiting the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson looked pretty efficient on last Sunday. He looked all right. They need some more explosiveness in their offense, though. Too many checkdowns, too many 2-yard throws that I saw. They're pretty married to that run game, which is good. That's what Russell Wilson needs. But they lost to the Raiders last week, and they're looking for a bounce back against this Commanders team, who almost lost a game to the worst team in the league, the Cardinals, who we all figured out last Sunday, they're not going to lay down and just give you a free win just because they're on your schedule. This Cardinals team, they might surprise a few people and win 3-4 games. Next up, we've got probably one of the better games of this week. We got the Dolphins at the Patriots. This Patriots team looked really good against the Eagles. I know they ended up coming out with an L. They lost 25-20. But this Patriots team was in it till the very, very end. And I think this Patriots team is going to pull out a W against this really good Dolphins team, 24-20. It's in Foxborough. Excuse me. And this spread right here is 46.5. I'm going to take the under on that one. I'm going to have the Patriots winning 24-20. This Dolphins offense, though, is going to have to keep this team in the game because this defense, the Dolphins defense, was just giving the Chargers everything all game long. Last and certainly not least, we have the Browns at the Steelers. The over-under for this game is at 39.5. I'm going to take the over here. I've got the Steelers winning 27-21. I have them bouncing back against from the 49ers loss. I think it's probably just a fluke, or this 49ers defense is outworldly. We'll see. But the Browns, they looked really good against the Bengals. And I don't know if that's attributed to Joe Burrow and the Bengals having week 1 struggles, like in early season struggles, and he's dealing with that calf thing still. But we'll see. I think the Steelers team, I'm not going to count against Mike Tomlin. And the Browns, I still need to see more. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for my week 2 predictions. Remember, last week I went 11-6, which is a pretty good week. We're above 500. That's the goal. 11-6 is a good start, but we're trying to push for that perfect week 17-0, baby. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, do all the YouTube stuff. You already know. And I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace. Next up here, we've got our coin toss of the week. We've got the Chiefs at the Jaguars. The over-under for this game is 51.5, and I'm taking the over on this one. This is a high over-under spread, but I think these two offenses are really good. Travis Kelce's status is still up in the air, and that obviously affected the Chiefs last week versus the Lions in the L that they took. But I think that Kelce, if he's back, should lead the Chiefs to a victory with Patrick Mahomes, 28-27. This is a possible AFC Championship matchup that we're getting in Week 2, which is always a surprise and a treat. And can the Jaguars contain Patrick Mahomes, even if he has Travis Kelce? We'll see. We've got the Saints at the Panthers. Really liked what I saw from Bryce Young Week 1. I mean, there were some good decisions, some flashes. That's what you want to see from your number 1 overall pick in Week 1. However, he did have 2 interceptions. One of them was kind of on the receiver's fault, but the other one was just a missed throw by Bryce Young. And he's going to have those early on in his career. You just got to work with him on that. But I think the Panthers are going to pull this one out against the Saints, 17-14. Low-scoring game. The over-under is at 40. Take the under, obviously. And on the Saints side of things, struggled against the Titans team that didn't score a touchdown. The Titans just were lingering in the game all game. It was kind of like they needed to put them away, and they never could. So that's why I've got the Panthers here. Michael Thomas, though, he's back.